Hello Year 2, I hope you enjoyed last week's history lesson. This week we are going to be looking at the Olympics again. So the first thing I would like you to do is write today's date, which is Thursday the 14th of January 2021, and today's skill, which is participate in a modern mini Olympics. And I would like you to write that into your catch-up book now. So if you could do that and pause the video and then unpause when you're ready, please. Today's starter then, I want you to think back to our learning last week. Can you recall 3 differences between the modern Olympics and the ancient Olympic Games? Now, you might like to turn to your talk partner if you're in school, and if you're at home, you might like to discuss this with your adult, or perhaps have a look back at last week's learning to refresh your memory. 3 differences then between the modern and the ancient Olympics. Off you go. Okay, I'm sure you came up with lots and lots of differences. So some of the differences then include we now have different events. It's now held all over the world, not just in Greece. We have Winter Olympic sports, we have lots more team sports, and we now have water sports as well. And they also now win medals. That's just a few of some of the differences between the ancient and the modern Olympic Games. Today you're going to be holding your own mini Olympics, and I'm sure you're all going to really enjoy it. In the Olympic Games held in ancient Greece, what did the winners receive? So have a couple of seconds to think. What did they receive if they won the Olympic Games in ancient Greece? Well done if you said this. So they received a statue, but they also received a crown made of olive branches and leaves. What did they receive now then? If they were to win the Olympic Games now and win their event, what would they receive? A couple of seconds to have a think. Well done if you got this. Give yourself a pat on the back. They now receive medals. So if you come in first place, you receive gold medal. Second place, you receive a silver medal. And in third place, you receive a bronze medal. Before we hold our mini Olympics then, you are going to create your own prize for winning the Olympics. You are going to choose between 2 options, or you can make both if you prefer as well. You might choose to create your own olive wreath, or on the next slide I'm going to show you how to create your own medal. An olive wreath was the prize for the winner at the ancient Olympic Games. It was made from an olive branch that grew in Olympia, which was ancient Greece, near the temple of Zeus. To do this, you're going to need a paper plate, scissors, glue and some green paper, and maybe a few different greens to have a few different colour leaves. That's up to you. The first step then, you need to cut out the middle of your paper plate. Step 2, you need to cut out lots of green leaves to cover your paper plate with. Step 3, you need to stick the leaves to the paper plate using glue, and you're going to need quite a bit of glue as the paper plate is curved so that the leaves stay stuck down onto the paper plate. And then, as modelled by lovely Mrs. Marsh, you are going to celebrate winning your mini Olympics by putting your olive wreath on your head. Okay then, the winners of the modern Olympic Games receive a medal. You might choose to make a medal instead, or as I said earlier, you could make both if you'd rather. You're going to need a piece of card and paper, some pens, some string and ribbon, and any craft materials of your choice that you would like to choose to decorate your medal with. You're also going to need some sellotape to stick something down as well. So step 1, cut a circle out of your card and paper and decorate your medal using a design of your choice. So as you can see on my picture, I've put gold in the middle, and then I've put lots of lovely gold stars and coloured it in yellow. But you can have any design of your choice. Step 2, you need to stick the ribbon and string to the back of your medal. So you need to cut the piece of string so that it fits around your neck and that it's the right length. And then you need to stick it on the back of your medal using some sellotape or some glue. And then, as modelled by the lovely Mrs. Young, you are going to wear your medal and celebrate winning your mini Olympics. You are going to set up then for your mini Olympics different sports activities that you can do at home, and you're going to go around them in a carousel, which means you're going to do one at a time, so first activity first, and then move on to a different activity going round in a carousel. Here are some ideas then. You don't have to do these ideas. You might have some brilliant ideas of sporting things to do at home on your of your own, some ideas of your own. These are just a few activities that you might like to do and include in your mini Olympics. First one then looks really fun, balloon tennis. So you can use a balloon as a tennis ball and create a racket out of paper plates and sticks, or you could just use your hands if you prefer. And then you are going to use the paper plate to hit the tennis ball to each other. Your challenge is, can you play tennis sitting down? So it's quite tricky because you won't be able to move around to catch the balloon. You're going to have to try and really aim with your racket in your hands. Okay, the next activity then that you could complete, rolled up sock basketball. Roll up some socks into a ball, or you could use a small ball if you have one, and try and get them into the basket. And you might move the basket further away or closer depending on how difficult you want to make it. You could also use a washing up basket or a bucket as your basket. Challenge then, can you get the socks in the basket when standing facing the other way? So you could turn away from the basket and try and throw it behind you to see if you can still get them in the basket, and that's going to be quite tricky. A few more ideas then of sporting activities you might like to include. So hurdles, so you could create a hurdles race where you jump over items, nice and safe items, nothing too hard, don't want you hurting yourself. For example, you could make a pile of cushions or pillows, and then you could jump over the cushions as your hurdles. Running, so you could set up a running track as well. You could also use some chalk to draw out your start or finish line, or use an item to show you where you're going to start and finish. And then your challenge could be seeing if you can beat your quickest time. So for example, if you run your race in 30 seconds, can you then run it again and do it in 27 seconds and do it even quicker? Okay, a few more then ideas for you. I know lots of you are going to love this one. So you could set up a goal, and can you score more than 10 goals in a minute? So you might even like to play with someone else then to see if you can score more than 10 goals. Your challenge, how long can you do keepy uppies without dropping the football? And I'd love to hear how long you've all managed to do this challenge, how long you've been able to do that for. Cycling then, if you have a bike, you might like to cycle around your garden. Alternatively, you could just lay on your back with your legs in the air and pedal and like you're on a bike, so pretending you're on a bike as one of your mini Olympic activities that you could do at home. Okay, I want you to think then, once you've completed your mini Olympics, I want you to think, how did it feel participating in the mini Olympics and why? So was it exciting? How would you have felt if you were in the actual Olympic Games? And then once you've done that, once you've completed your mini Olympics and thought about how it made you feel, last week we learnt about the differences between the ancient and the modern Olympics. And one of the key differences is that there are a lot more sports now included in the modern Olympics than there were in the ancient Olympics. For example, gymnastics. Today, you are going to create your own sport. So after you've had a go at your mini Olympics at home, you are going to design your own sport. So let's have a look at how you could do that then. First of all then, on the next slide, you are going to have a template that you can use to design your sport. But first of all, we're going to have a think of some key questions that you need to ask yourself when designing your sport. What will your sport be called? What name will your sport have? Think about the number of players. Is it going to be a 2-player sport, or is it going to be a team sport? It's going to be a team of 4. What equipment will you need? Will you need a ball? Will you need a racket? What will the rules be? So this is a really important one. So we need to have rules so that we know how to play it. And then you need to be able to describe your sport so that others can play it as well. Okay, so this is the template that you are going to need to complete. This will be, if you are at home, this template will be in a PDF document underneath this video on the website. And it includes all of those questions that we've just thought about. So when you're designing your sports, you've got your sport name in the first box, number of players, equipment, rules, description, and then underneath the description, you've also got an illustration of your sport. So I'd love to see a picture of your sport being played. What would it look like? Show me what equipment you're going to use in that picture. And finally, you can just about see the stars. Rating out of 10. So you're going to colour in the stars to give it your rating out of 10. If you thought it was amazing, you might give it a score of 10 or 9. And if you think, I think I could design a better sport, maybe it would have a lower score. Okay? Can't wait to see pictures of your mini Olympics and the sports that you've designed. Please send them in over Discord. We've absolutely loved seeing all of the pictures of what you've been getting up to. It's brought a big smile to our faces. Well done. Have a lovely day. Bye.